Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast studio. We got a special treat today. A young man that I'm very fond of, who's been a Mayhem resident for quite some time now. He's a 4-time games athlete, including a second-place finish as a 16-year-old and 2 top 10 finishes as well. Guilherme Malheiros.
That's me.
I was going to say obrigado, but then I'm like, oh, that's how limited my Portuguese is. In the end, I'll say it. I mean, hey, dude, we're just here to kind of have a casual conversation. You know, you've been here for years now. What, 4 years?
I got here in September 2021, so that's going to be like 2 years and something.
Okay.
Change.
Feels like a lifetime.
It is. It feels. It's crazy.
And but I don't think, you know, we're doing these kind of sit downs because I think a lot of times we get to see you on the competition floor. We get to see you in the behind the scenes when sometimes the pressure is still high. So this is really just an opportunity to kind of unpack and get to know you a little bit more. And for me, that starts really with, you know, you exploded onto the scene, but I still think that like people don't know a whole lot about your background, your upbringing. You know, obviously we know you're Brazilian, but tell me more. You grew up in Rio, correct?
Yeah. Brazilians speak Portuguese.
That's
So
the most important.
remember that. Yeah, I grew up in Rio. I was born in Rio. Went to the northeast until I was maybe 3, 4.
Okay.
And then I moved back to Rio. And then I lived in my hometown, the one that was born, for probably like 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And then I moved to the city that I'm kind of from.
Okay.
So that's Macaé in Rio. So then I spent.
Because Rio's huge.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's like it's a good size.
Yeah.
And this city is like on the coast, on the coast.
Yeah, on the coast.
On the coast. And yeah, it was amazing. I grew up there from maybe 9 to 21.
And so like, give me more on that. So it was part of Rio, but like, so by like, the only one I know is the only
2 hours from Rio.
Oh, 2 hours from Rio. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 9 hours from São Paulo.
Got it. Okay. And so you would say that's where you're from. You mostly grew up there.
Yeah.
And it's, I hate to say this, when I was your age, which is a long time ago, I went to Rio, got to do Carnival, the whole thing, but I'm sure that a lot of people have not been there, but it's, I mean, it's gorgeous, right? It feels almost really tropical, beautiful white sand beaches.
A lot of food, great like views and place to go like and visit and to see the Christ the Redeemer. It's amazing. Good people, and it's amazing.
So,
I like Brazil.
And tell me, so family, brothers and sisters, you got?
Only child.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, until I was 10, I wanted a brother.
Okay.
And then I realized that it was everything for me. My parents, my toys, everything. So I was like, never mind, I don't want anyone.
Squash that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I grew up like only child. I had some cousins. One lived with me for a couple of times, different like times. And I had some cousins that would play and hang out all the time. But just me, my dad, my mom, and that was it.
Okay. And then here's what I'm really dying to know. And we'll get to the CrossFit stuff in a little bit. But one thing from when you first showed up at the games, you were 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, 17. Yeah.
17. And but at 17 years old, you snatched 290 pounds.
91.
Where did that come from? Like,
I have no idea. So we were training. So
well, no, tell me. I mean, like sports. Like, what's your background with sports?
Oh, I played before CrossFit. I played basketball for 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And then in 2015, I made the change. So then I started doing CrossFit full time.
Because you were like with basketball, did they have you lifting weights or like
nothing? I never trained in my life. So I was just like playing sports. I was very active when I was growing up. So like I did everything like BMX, all for fun. Nothing like crazy. Not like here in the US, but like I would like ride my bike and I don't know, slackline, this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then I got into basketball, and I was just like doing basketball, playing basketball 2 times a week, 3 times a week ish.
Is that like school teams, or that's just casual with friends? Like
it started with like basketball. I don't know how it's called, but like
Like a league.
classes,
okay.
basketball classes like this, like, you know, like a school of basketball. And then I started playing the team in the last year that I was playing, or the last 2 years that I was playing. Yeah, I started playing the team of the city. So we would like compete the state nationalship, state championship.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun. But then other guys that was playing a lot more time than me, they would be the starters.
Yeah.
And they only played like they were the only guys that were playing at the games.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like pushed to the side, and then was at that time that I knew CrossFit. So then I started doing CrossFit to improve basketball.
Okay.
And then I got bad in CrossFit and basketball. So I was dunking, but I got better in CrossFit, so I made the switch.
What year was that?
That was 2015.
Okay.
My dad knew CrossFit in 2010. And then he got home all excited. Oh, I knew CrossFit and got to know CrossFit, blah, blah. But we were like, what is that? Like,
yeah.
You know? And then.
Because that was early for Brazil.
Yes. Yeah. Because I think that was the second introduction of CrossFit in Brazil.
Okay.
By Joel, I think. Yeah, Joel Friedman. And then in 2014, a gym opened in my city, and my dad got excited again. It was like, hey, let's go there. But in the meantime, he would teach me how to do like butterfly pull-ups or this kind of stuff, and squat and all this stuff. So I got to the first class of the opening of the gym, and I was doing like butterflies. And there, the coach, not even the coach, was doing like they knew how to do like butterflies. We're like, what the hell is that? And then that was the first time that I got a contact with CrossFit in 2014.
And so sounds like if he's doing butterflies, or at least the capability to teach you, like your dad was a pretty good athlete also?
No, he was not an athlete at all. But he would know how to teach me or like show me videos. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Oh, I can do that, yeah.
Yeah, and that how he worked.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, maybe it was a little bit after this, but like right around then is when Brazil blew up and people were crazy about CrossFit, right?
So probably was like around around like 2014 already, but like 2015, 16 were the years that CrossFit exploded, and we got to be the second country in like most affiliates in the world, something like that. Fastest
growth for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely outside the U.S. too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were 14, 15 at the time. Okay.
Yes.
And I believe 2016 was the first time you actually did the Open.
I did the Open. Yeah, when I was 16, I did the first Open.
And then by 2017, you not only made the game, or you not only qualified to the games, but you also took second place at the games.
Yeah, so like in 2016, I got 45th on the world, 4th in South America, and 2nd in Brazil. So then I switched coaches.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, let's focus and qualify to the games. So we started working out and training and all the things. And in 2017, I got 2nd in the world, just behind Angelo. And then,
I didn't have you two together. So you actually competed against Angelo.
Yeah.
Oh, what a trip. Okay.
And he beat me by, I don't know how many points, but he beat me. But he was a favorite, so like everyone in Brazil was like, get him, like smash him. But I was like, no, guys.
But I mean, second place.
It was great. Like it was a great beginning for me. It was great by the time in Brazil. It was a big thing, like the first Brazilian to ever get a podium at the CrossFit Games. Not as elite yet, but it was great to get that second place. And the snatch of 291 was the thing that
blew people's minds.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. So like I was getting followers in like crazy. It was crazy. It was amazing.
Because so you snatched 291. as a 17-year-old, and in the open division, that was the winning snatch for Matt Fraser, right? It was 291.
Yeah.
So like you matched it, and I remember there was tons of hype.
I think he got fifth, probably. I think he got fifth in 2091, and that year the snatch was like 305 by Fisher.
Okay.
Fisher.
But who's counting, you know? Not like you're a fan. So I want to stay in that time zone. There's a lot that happened in that short amount of time. You were introduced to CrossFit within 2 years. You're second in the world in your age group. Did it all come natural? Like, did things just fall into place? Obviously, you said the coach probably had something to do with it, but.
Yeah, I think when I was moving from basketball to CrossFit, I was praying a lot about it, about like doing the switch, because I wanted to go to NBA. I had faith. I'm like 5'9", 5'10". But I was thinking about going professional in basketball, but then CrossFit was the show up, and I was like, what do I do? And then I started praying, and by the end of the year of 2015, I prayed like, okay, we had a competition in team, like six people team, and I was like, okay, if we get a podium, I'm gonna go to CrossFit exclusively. So we got third. I was like, okay. And then I started doing CrossFit, and everything was just like natural. So like I started getting good results by the age. I would compete only like with older guys, like 24, 22, and I was like 16. And the guys were like in their prime. I would start like competing as a lead in some competitions in Brazil. So sponsors and everything was just like adding up.
That happened that early.
Yeah, and It was so natural. So got second place at the games, so it was for sure like a God thing. And here I am.
Yeah.
To this day.
And so when you came back from, I didn't realize it happened that quickly with like sponsors and highlights. So, and like you said, I mean, that's the first time that Brazil was really recognized competitively.
Yeah.
So tell me how things changed. Like you left for the games, and you know CrossFitters knew who you were and whatnot. But I'm sure when you came back, there was a lot more hype.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of hype, competitions, and people were like getting. I think that they were starting to see that CrossFit was kind of like a professional sport, and that was kind of important. And so people started like doing more and like getting inspired by it. And I don't know, I just stayed with the flow, and people were like getting hyped and cheering a lot, like for Brazil and to CrossFit Games, and the games, the CrossFit and CrossFit Games is starting like to realize that Brazil was a big like nation of like CrossFitters, and that was let's say like a good market. And it was crazy, like people got very, very excited about it.
I bet.
Yeah.
And I remember it and then we came down and we did an open announcement.
2018.
Yes, and everybody was so fired up.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't recognize though, and it was less common even back then, was, you know, even Angelo won, but that jump from teenager into the open category, nobody was doing it at the time.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really possible.
Yeah.
Where was your head at? Did you have confidence you could, or?
Yeah, I had confidence that I could. I got an injury in 2018. That was after the Open. But what happened in 2018 is that I underestimate the competition.
Yeah.
So at the time, I think there was like 30 people that was qualifying to the regionals, I think. That was about to happen in Rio. And I underestimated it. And I was like, I'm not worse than like 30 people. So I got 32nd.
You got a little cocky.
So, yeah.
You mean like in training? Like you mean you took the pedal off the gas in training?
I think in competition.
Okay.
Like in the Open and doing that kind of stuff. And like my mindset
I'm fine.
Was kind of like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not worse than like 30 people, 32nd in South America. So I didn't qualify, but that thing was one of the most important things that happened to me in my career. It wasn't because, oh no, he's a teenager going to the elite division, because I only competed with elite division and all the guys that were there. So like by the time it was fine, but like the thing was with me, like, and then probably was a God thing, like to humble me and like to say, hey, Don't do that.
Wake up, junior. Yeah.
So I learned a lot in that year, but it was good because I went to the competition and I watched it, and that got me fired up. And I started training like harder. And that day I made the promise that next year I will be that guy. So in 2018 I got an injury in my back, like a minor injury, but I didn't train that much, like for probably like 2 months, 3 months.
What does that look like? Like a bulged disc or just a strain?
I think because I was very strong like superficially, but like internally I wasn't strong. So like my core was kind of weak, and I was like carrying a lot of weight by the time. So I think that because my structure of like a 17, 16, 18 years old was not like strong yet.
Yeah.
So it was just like something between my discs. It wasn't like a hernia or something. It was just like a little
bulge
ball of like liquid to like prevent the I don't know what, but it was painful. But then we treated, and I came back like stronger than before. And in 2019, I was that guy. So I qualified to the games, won the Open as a national champion, and went to the games again with 19 years old. Yeah.
And learned some more lessons there, right? Like,
yeah, a lot.
That was when we were still, it always goes and changes, right? But some successes that year, but cut after the ruck run. Mm-hmm. So what was the takeaway after that? Was it?
Yeah, that year was kind of weird because we had like 150 people like competing at the same time. It was crazy.
That's right. That was national champions year.
Yeah, yes. It was like 150 guys competing. It was crazy. So yeah, then I was like, okay, gotta work on my aerobic capacity that I was already working on.
Why? What specifically were you?
Running mostly.
Because you could lift well and you were fast, obviously. Yeah. Was that the year of the sprint?
No.
Okay.
That was 2021.
That's 21, yeah.
So like 2019, I committed a mistake in the second workout, I think. It was the 800 meters row, 66 kettlebell shorts overhead, and handstand walk. So if I made it, because I failed in the last quarter, the last square, let's say that, and we had to go back all the way to the last point that we started. So I lost probably like 2 minutes, 1 minute there because it was very long, the handstand walk. So that thing took me out of the games. I could, if I did it right, the run would not take me out. I would be able to do probably one more event, maybe. But yeah, the takeaway from that workout, that games were like, okay, let's come back stronger. Then work again, work more.
And obviously,
everything.
You have to have some of those experience. I mean, you'd been to the games as a teenager, but you have to have that experience first. Like
I got 48. And I was like just 19 years old. Like I don't owe anything to anyone. So I was just having fun.
And I mean, was it really, did you, that year, were you kind of like, hey, this is great. Did you have a good experience? Were you bummed? Were you
like, I was not satisfied for sure, but I was okay. I qualified. I was the guy that I wanted to be. I'm here. But then I figured out that, okay, this is my place. This is where I belong. So after that year, I was like, okay, now I'm a games athlete. Gotta live with it. Like, gotta live by it. So then I started training as a games athlete. And
what does that mean? Like, what did you notice that you needed to change? Was it?
I think that was my mind, like to know the level that I want to reach, that I wanted to reach, and just the mindset of like, okay, the games is like only the best athletes. Got to be one of the best athletes. So I would wake up every day with that thought, like sleeping as a champion, eating like a champion, like eating to get better every day, training to get better every day, all the details. So that was very, very good to me because if all went well, I'll not learn. So I was like, okay, 48, good.
Yeah.
Next year, better. Next year, better. So like one brick at a time. That was a thought at the time.
Yeah. Well, and you still kind of use that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. In 2020, I qualified again as a national champion. No. We had the semifinals actually online, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I won again. Or got second. No, I won. Yeah. I think I won. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure you did.
But but I qualified to the games, but we didn't have because of the pandemics. And that was good. I was like, okay, one more year to train. Go back to train. In 2021, I was living in another city with my former coach in Brasilia, with some other athletes. I had a partner, female training partner, Lottie. I think you know her. And we were trained together all the time. We had others too, like Andrea, and all the guys. And 2021 was a great year. I went to the games like with no expectations. I wanted to make the cut, and I was just praying God that He would give me like a highlight spot, like to him to shine, and that happened, and it was great.
You had 3 event wins,
and then I had the 3 event wins. The third event of the first day, the sprint, and then I won the snatch,
yeah,
of course, and then one more. That was the
sprint, snatch, and shoot, I don't remember, but 3 event wins, which is insane.
7. Oh, the run and cleans.
Yes,
run and cleans. The 7th event, and that was amazing. Again, like the first snatch of 2017, the snatch of the 2021 was exploded, and I got a lot of opportunities and visibility by that result, and that was very good.
Yeah, I remember that was the year where there was bonuses for wearing shoes, and you won the sprint event, and everybody's like, "Hey, could you get this guy a pair of shoes?"
Yeah, I ran with other shoes.
Yeah,
because I don't know why. Oh, because I didn't have the shoes yet.
Oh, right.
I just bought the shoes like that night.
Yep.
And I invested like 160. Yeah, 160 and got 20,000. That was good.
That's a good
investment.
For those who are not good at math, like that's a really good investment.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so what happens then? So I mean, now you're playing on a different level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So were you able?
And you got 7.
What's that?
Games in 2021.
7th place, yeah. And so you come in with no expectations, which is really a good place to be.
Oh,
right?
yeah, amazing.
And then once you leave, where do you go?
I go to Brazil. Facundo calls me. He says, "Oh, what are you gonna do in September, October?" I was like, "Nothing, just training." Yeah. And he was like, "Are you going back to Brazil?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you have anything in mind?" He goes, "Maybe." And then he talked to Rich, and I don't know what happened, but then he invited me to come to Mayhem to train. I was like, "That's great! Like this is all that I wanted since I started CrossFit the games. Since I started CrossFit actually." And I was like, yeah, got to go there, train for the best. And that's going to be a great environment to me to be.
Tell me actually real quick more about that, because I wonder always you're so young. Mm-hmm. So when you started the games, Rich was already done as an individual, right?
Yeah.
Or right about that time he was finishing in 2014.
Like I don't remember watching the games or knowing the athletes of the games. So like
that's even more impressive that you.
Yeah, we just got to know probably Rich around like 2016, 2017, and about Mayhem and about all the things. And I think that was like in 2017. I was like, dang, like gotta go there.
Something's going on over there.
Yeah. And at the games, Brandon Fjord, you know him?
Yeah.
He was like, I kind of knew him from Brazil or something. And he was like, hey, do you want me to introduce you like to Rich? I was like, no, thank you. But I didn't have like the awareness of the time. But then I realized that, oh, Rich is the guy, and gotta go to Mayhem, gotta train with them, and gotta train with the best if I want to be one of the best. And yeah, that was the thought at the time. So in 2021, I got invited. I was like,
so did you ever go back to Brazil, or did you come straight here?
No, I went to Brazil.
I went
to Brazil, yeah. So that was great. I was like praying about it. I talked with my friends, with my first coach, with my parents, my girlfriend at the time, and now she's a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, let's do it. The opportunity only comes once. So we made the choice. I came. Still here.
You are still here. We're lucky,
great.
And we're lucky to have you.
Yeah, it was great time. It is a great time to this day, but like it was amazing, like coming here to US to kind of live here, because I never lived here. I went to Miami like 3 months ish to train with Noah, but that was the first time like experiencing like Cookeville, United States, the culture and everything, like getting used to the language and getting used to English.
Yeah.
Improving the English. Yeah, it was a good time.
And what's funny though is, Miami and Cookeville couldn't be more different, right?
Oh yeah.
And so what were your, as a young man, luckily I guess you were in a committed relationship already, and you were here to concentrate on training, but what were your expectations? Or like what did you think Cookeville was going to be, and like how did it match with those expectations?
Truly?
Yeah, truly.
Honestly, I thought that Cookeville would be only like farms,
couple horses,
a road, and cornfield.
and then CrossFit Mayhem right in the middle.
I got here, everything the same that I thought. No, just kidding. But like, I was
so it's actually bigger than you thought.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There was a Walmart here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's a Walmart there. And
they have restaurants. This is
they
crazy.
have restaurants, because I was like, I don't know what to expect like from Cookeville. Like I would like search in Google.
Yeah.
Cookeville, and like 33,000
people. Yeah.
People
population.
there. I was like, damn, that's small. So I like in my imagination it was just like roads, like
dirt roads and
dirt
country,
roads and cornfields.
Yep.
But then I got here, that was asphalt.
Yep.
On the roads. Just kidding. But I got here and it was all new and it was all good, like all great. And I never thought that I would like to live in a city like small and like easygoing and like calm. But then like after like a couple weeks here, I was like, bro, I love this. And nowadays when I go to like Miami, Chicago, or like I went to New York after games, I was like,
I gotta get back to the country.
No, like it's impossible to live in like a place like this for me. So like I love the calm of here. No traffic, no noise, no like buildings. So I just loved it. And as I always wanted to come to US, the adaptation of getting out of Brazil and coming here was like normal. It was like natural. And I just enjoyed it.
That's great.
And it was amazing. The only thing that I miss from Brazil is like food and friends and the lifestyle. But it's amazing.
Be honest. Like, how does our acai bowl at Mayhem stack up to real acai?
It's fair. But like, like.
You can be honest. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. And then how about the training environment? Because that was new for you as well.
Oh yeah.
Or I imagine it was.
Yeah.
It was still people that are older than you, but now you've got some athletes who are going to the games. You've got Rich next to you. You got things like that.
Yeah. I got 7 and I was like, bro, I'm a top 10, I know some stuff.
I got this.
When I got here, being smashed every single day. Like I would even like cry sometimes. I would question myself, like what I'm doing, like I'm not good enough. Like there's like smashing me every single day. Like I'm beat up and they're still going. Like I gotta get to that level. So in the first like couple months, like September, November, December, like January, February, like until like February, January, I was in a very bad place. But then
fearing that you
like being smashed every day.
Yeah.
Like they're like
physically and mentally.
Yeah, running me over like
Yeah.
every single day. Rich, I'm not even gonna talk about it because it was crazy. So it was great because I was like being beat, and then that kind of like made me grow a lot mentally and physically. So like I started training more like them, and I was working out and training more in 1 week, probably more than I was working out like in 1 month before. So I was like, okay, this is how we do. This is how they do. So let's go. And my mind was like, okay, brick by brick, every single day, I'm gonna stack one until I get to their level. I still do that.
And it's, I mean, honestly, we're laughing about it, but you say you went to a bad place mentally. Like, how'd you gain perspective and say like, no, this is actually could be a good thing? Or were they conversations? Was it just conversations with yourself?
Yeah, just like I said, like bad place because I was like, bro.
It was the first time you weren't feeling confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was confident at the time. And then I was like, bro, I'm nothing. Like 7th place doesn't mean anything here. So I was like, I gotta like improve myself. So I was like, I'm beat up. Like what I'm doing, like questioning myself and like, I gotta get better. But then I realized, okay, keep calm, be patient, your time will come. And sometimes we will like do a hard workout, and Rich will be like fine, and we'll be dying. And I will like say to Sasha or like maybe Luke, I was like, bro, we better get better here because this gotta get us better. So yeah, it was a good experience, and it was very humbling to come here, but that teach me a lot.
Yeah.
That taught me a lot, like about training, about life, about even like personal behaviors were changing. So it was great to come here.
Love it. So let's keep going through the games, and then we're going to unpack a lot of it. But so that progressed. You went back to Brazil, competed at semis
in 2022.
22.
Okay.
And then we head back to the games.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that year, learning hard lessons, but also in the previous year where you came in with no expectations, but you left with a 7th place. Mm-hmm. Where were you mentally like entering the 22 games? So
2022, after the semifinals, until the semifinals, I was feeling great. I won the competition, was great, good time. First time competing in Brazil with my family watching, was great.
Fans loved you, going crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing, like the best crowd ever in all competitions. So I came back here to get ready to the games. Had some like injuries here and there, elbow, wrist, posterior, lower back, like here and there. Went to the games with the expectation, okay, I gotta be 7th place or better. Gotta improve. Have to improve after all this training. Got there, had a horrible first 3 days. I think that I got the first event was what was the first event?
Was that the bike and the toaster bar?
Maybe, yeah. Got 20 something that workout. I was like, okay, last year I got 22nd in the swim event. Okay, all will be fine.
Yeah.
Then I got 2nd in that crossover workout. I was like, okay, it's going well. But then we had, I don't know what we had that day, the first day. The second day we had to come back to the run and jerks. I was just smoked from the first day, and I thought that we would rest that day. We didn't, so that was very hard. When I woke up like very beat up that day. Did the event. I was trying to push more, but my body was just not responding. Yeah. And that was it. And people were like, he's not running. He's not pushing. Bro, I was...
Easy to say from the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Yeah. So on Friday, I had another bad day. In that night of the Thursday, probably, I was just like mad at everything, everyone. It doesn't matter whatever you said to me, I would be like just mad about it. And on Friday night, I was like, I don't care anymore. I just want to finish the competition. So that actually helped me to go to Saturday lighter.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't owe anything to anyone, so I'm just gonna do whatever I have to do my best here, and let's see what we're gonna get. So there's probably like 20 something place, I don't know, or 18, 20, I don't know. So on Saturday, I won the first event. Actually, the second event, what was the triplet? I don't know. I know that I won 2 events back to back on Saturday. That was the sandbag and the wall balls dumbbell run.
Mm-hmm.
And on Sunday, I got 4th in the first workout. Maybe I got 4th on Saturday, first, and then I got 4th, 10. Yeah. And then I end up with the 10th place.
Which is a crazy comeback.
That was a crazy comeback. Yeah. That's in documentary,
yes.
right? So for everyone else, it was great.
Yes.
He's on the top 10 again. Great. He's awesome. Great. He's a beast. And for me, I was like, that was a shame. Like, I was not good enough. I just screwed up everything. I was bad. All the things. So, but I proposed Lou, so that was great, actually, to finish.
Yeah, actually, for those that don't know, yes, you at the award ceremony,
yeah,
you proposed to your now wife.
Yeah, and that was great, actually. But after that, she went back to Brazil. I stayed here, and yes.
And you're struggling mentally. Because, you said, I mean, a lot of people on the outside, top 10 finish.
Yeah.
But for you, you'd had that experience. You'd had the experience of what you felt like on Thursday night and what you felt like on Friday night. Yeah. It's not like that just disappears with the 10th place.
Yes. Yeah. So by the time I was like, I trained a lot. Like, I did my job. I did everything that I could. Actually, I didn't. I was not drinking water. I was not eating what I was supposed to be eating. I was eating brownies every day.
Oh, no.
And ice cream. Oh, so good. And yeah, I didn't do my part. But I worked out a lot. I trained a lot. I suffered a lot. So I was like, bro, I got to do this. Like, I'll be better. Got there, got 10th place, top 10. Of course, different workouts, different people, of course. But like, in my mind, it was a shame. So after that, I was ashamed, with fear of competing, and just talking bad things to myself, like thinking negatively all the time. So from August to October, I was in Brazil dealing with my visa and seeing, like, checking if I will be able to come back to Rogue because I got an invite, but I was ashamed and with fear. And also the visa stuff, because I had to go back and forth to like states. I was in 2 states differently in Brazil. It's supposed to be ready at a time, and then I had to go back. So that was like 1 month after.
Anybody who's done passport stuff knows, but then trying to get a visa to the all that kind of stuff is the next level.
Yeah. So it was crazy. So I didn't know if I would compete because I was not training in Brazil because I was messed up mentally and physically also. So end up, I didn't compete Rogue. So then from August until February, I competed Waterpalooza. It was okay too. It was part of my treatment, like auto treatment. It didn't work out. So like from August to February, I was just like messed up, crying almost every day, yelling, going from the gym to the house because my training piece or my training day were just bad, and I didn't know what was that feeling, was what was happening to me, because I never experienced something like that.
Sure.
Like something like some mental stuff, because it was just me. Everyone else was like, bro, you got top 10, like you're good, like you're enough, like just enjoy your life, blah blah. But it was like, no. But like my mind was just like, spiraled out.
Can I ask you this too? It's a difficult thing for anybody, but I think especially like your generation too, and people are talking about it a lot now. Mm-hmm. There's the pressures of social media. You've got sponsors, you've got people that are fans, you've got whatever. And so I imagine, well, I know from watching your social media, like that's not apparent. Nobody knows what you're going through because it looks like you're happy and it looks like here's my new shoes and here's my thing. And you know what I mean? Is that
like people nowadays, they talk about what they see, but like they don't know anything that's happening in anyone's life. So no one knows what everyone's going through. So yeah, social media was a big part of it. One of the parts of it, just like some comments and some haters and some stuff. I try to not read it. I always avoid reading it, and I try to like. I have probably 200 people blocked on my Instagram.
Do you really?
Yeah. And I try to not see, but like when I see, we say that we don't care. Oh no, I don't care about it. But like it's still there. It's still like that comment is still there. So yeah, I got in a very bad place. Yeah. After that, suffering a lot. Didn't have any happiness during the days. So like.
So training's trash.
Train's trash. Life's a trash. So like I was just like beat up. So one day of training, one bad day of training was a bad day of life. One good day of training was a good day of life. So it was just like ups and downs all the time. And every time that I was happy or having some happiness all the time, I wanted to go back to that sadness, like unconsciously. So on February, I went to 2 services. And the pastor was saying about who do you think you are, as you think you are, as you think in your heart you are, the man is, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that plugged in my mind that, he was talking when we think highly of other people, like highly of ourselves, and we think highly of ourselves even over God. So then I went back to 2021. My prayer was like, give me highlight spot to you to shine so that people can see you through my life. In 2022, I was like, I did it. Like I came here. I did all the training. I suffered. I did it like by myself. I got to be better. And I realized that I put CrossFit, or I put myself over everything else, and I included God. So that thing stuck to me because, dang, I took God off his place and like the first place of my life. And then I realized that, okay, gotta go back to it. And the other service was about when we think bad of ourselves or lowly. Lowly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, lowly of ourselves. Talking about the world tell us who we are not, and the word tell us who we are. So I was like, okay. So that from that, I was like, okay, my identity was in the wrong place. I put my identity on the leaderboard, on the results, on the money, on the fame, or anything else. And I was like, okay, I'm not this. I'm bigger than that. So in that year, I was doing the open. In 2023 now. Okay. In the open, I was messed up. So I did all the work. I was like very bad. Like I was just suffering all the time.
And not publicly still.
Not publicly.
Yeah, I remember nobody knew really.
Not even my parents. They knew something. Yeah, they knew. But only my parents, my coach, Enrique, and my wife at the time. So by the time on the quarterfinals, we were reading Ecclesiastes, talking about Solomon. That Solomon talks about that everything is vanity. And when we were reading that, I was like, this is all vanity. Like, this is all empty. Like, we're running and trying to catch the wind. From in that time to the quarterfinal, I was like, bro, this is just a game. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if I get 10, if I won, if I win, if I got 50, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing will change between me and God will not change. So I was just light. I was just like doing to have fun. And then I won the quarterfinals, and I didn't win the Open. And I won the quarterfinals, and I was like, okay, like, my identity is back. But I was still in the process of like healing myself.
Yeah, because those sermons, it's one day.
Yeah.
Putting it into practice.
Yeah.
It takes practice.
Yeah.
I mean,
so and one day I did a fasting of like 24 hours of praying and fasting. And when I delivered the fasting at 6 p.m. on Sunday, right after that service, the next day I woke up like light, no burden, no weight, because it felt like a weight that was on my back, and it was very heavy, and I was just carrying that burden and carrying that sadness, and it was something like oppressing me. That oppression that was over me on Monday just went off, and it was crazy because I never felt like this. I hear people say, "Oh, God healed me," and "Oh, God did this in my life," and "God did that, God did that," and I was like, "How this happens?" And God was like, "Oh, you want to know?"
Boom.
Got through it. And then I realized, okay, God did it, and God healed me. So I was seeing the process during the 2023 season of learning how to put my identity in Him and how to deal with the things. And one thing that Tyler told me that stuck with me, that was like, okay, CrossFit is what you do, not who you are. Like, you got to have this difference and have this division. Okay, and then I saw, okay, when I go there, I'm working out. When I go home, that's done. Now I have a life, I have a wife, I have a dog, I have a life to live. So that changed a lot of my perspective. So after the quarterfinals, I qualified to the semifinals that was in Rio, and I was really happy about it. Kinda not very confident about it. And
why not confident?
Because I was not training as I supposed to be training, because I didn't have like a guidance to train. So I was kind of like doing things by myself. It's my fault exclusively, before anyone talks something. But like, it was my fault, because I would work out and, okay, I got to do this, got to do that. But I was not sure if I was doing too much, or I was doing less than I was supposed to be doing.
And you were here.
I was here. Yeah,
okay.
I was here. So I was not fully confident going to the semifinals. I was right. I was sure that I was gonna win, and that everything would be okay at the time. But before, I was very anxious. So I was praying about it. Got to the semifinals. I heard someone saying about, detox of caffeine is very good, because if you're not taking caffeine, when you take it again, it will hit harder, and you'll have better results. I was like, let's try that. And I take coffee every day, not black coffee, super coffee, and is a sponsor of mine. I take caffeine every day. So I stopped taking for 1 week, from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Friday, I took a pre-workout that I was not used to take. That was very junior of me.
Oh, no.
And I took it, and the first event was the bike sled, run, and ski.
Yep.
I did a workout here at Mayhem with Tyler, Sam. It was great. I felt good. I was running 3 times a week. I was feeling great with my run, with my cardio, with everything. I was feeling fine. Took the pre-workout. In the warm-up, I was like sweating, like
it's the worst feeling in the
world. Like a pig, like
heart
crazy.
beating through your chest.
And I was like, bro, what's happening? Like, and my heart rate was like beating up, and I was already tired in the warm up, and I was like, dang, bro, like I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I think that in the workout I'll be fine. Got to the workout, very nervous, like what's gonna happen, like excited because it was like the excitement of the caffeine and also the competition of 100%. The nerves. I was like, dang. So I did the first bike in like, I don't know, 4 minutes. I don't know how was it. But after the bike, I just died. And it was like, I just dragged myself the whole workout. I was like, bro, I can't believe that. And I was not feeling my body. Like, I was just like, I don't know, soft, and like, it was crazy. So I got 15 that workout. I was like, dang, I got to win all the events now.
Because in that, especially because there's only 3-4 competitive athletes, there's no room. There's just no room to make up points.
Yeah, so
can't afford a 15th in a regional like that.
Yeah, so I was like, dang. And then I got very mad about it. Didn't take the pre-workout after that. Went to the second event, won the event, and everyone was like, yeah, the champion's back, the champion's back. I was like, okay, I'm back on track. The next day was fine. The Sunday was fine too. But like, if I got first, the second and the third would be like second and third. If I got third, there would be like first and second. So like, there was no room to get points between it. And when I would win an event, I would cheer for another person, another athlete to get in the middle of us.
Oh yeah, right.
Augustine, he didn't do it. And oh no, he did it. He did it. Thanks, Augustine. You helped me. But yeah, I won probably like 3 events, I think. I don't know. Got second, third, sixth. Didn't qualify. And that was the moment that I felt the most peace of my life.
Say it again. The most what?
The most peaceful moment
you really?
of my life. In the past, I would be like mad or maybe I was just mad. I would be just mad probably. I would cry maybe. But like to not qualify that year, it was because for everything that we went through that season, me and my wife, it was exhausting, like more mentally than physically. But I was exhausted mentally. And when I didn't qualify, after the last workout, I just lay on the floor. I didn't qualify, of course. I knew that. And I just lay down. I was like, thank God. And I felt so much peace. It was crazy. I don't know how to describe, but it was just crazy how much peace I had in that moment. And after that also. But the relief that I would not have to go through all this stress that I was already passing through, and games training is way harder, like to go into like the preparation to the games and the stress of the games and all of that stuff, because I was already exhausted. So I think that I would not have anything more to give, and I would be not ready mentally and physically to the games and to compete as I should be competing. So after that, I just felt peace. And I was very grateful for everything, and also grateful for God. I still did it what I wanted to do. That was to pray on the podium and to share a little bit of my testimony to the people that were there. And I did it on the third place podium, and I still did it. And I think that was the most special thing for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see that at home. But that's a really cool story. I did not know that.
Yeah. So then I went to the games, and I had a lot of lessons in the last year, because we went to the games. We're here, and we would travel 8 hours to Chicago because we had a dog. We drove 8 hours to Chicago to watch the games, and I had some like sponsors to attend. And watching the games on the bleachers, I realized that the competition itself is not as important as I thought it was. I thought that everyone would be like, oh my God, like he did bad in this workout. He did good in that
Throwing
workout.
fruit at you and
like
and
all the things. And then I'm outside and everyone is cheering like for the first, for the second, for the third, for the fourth, for the fifth, for the last place. And everyone is just happy that we are there working out. And I realized, bro, it's just some guys working out. It's not that of a big deal. And I was like, that's true. And then I realized that everything that I thought that were important, they were not important. So I was like, okay, I gotta seek more to get to know more of what is important. That's God. And my lessons from everything that I carried from that year was like, the most important thing in our lives right now is like God and the people that we love, because I was here in US, the only Brazilian here in US, training at the best place, having the fame, having all the sponsors, having money, having a house, having everything that everybody wanted. But none of these things that were like material saved me from that place that I was. Only God and the people that I love that was like with me, like, hey, it doesn't matter what happens. We're here for you. Like, we love you. So that was the biggest lesson that I took from 2023.
How do you take that and bottle it up? Because like we said, it's easy for us to talk about, but when you step up to a starting line and there's cameras and there's pressure, you know, how are you practicing trying to take that knowledge and feeling with you so that the other stuff doesn't creep in at go time?
If you know, let me know.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. I still working on it, but like I'm trying to get to a place where I used to be, and that before I was just having fun. I was going to the gym to have fun and to do what I was liking to do, showing off, lifting weights, or just having fun with my friends working out. And by the time I started getting money, getting more famous, and getting more attention, that kind of became like a weight, like something like that was heavy. And I kind of lost that essence of like having fun, and everything just starting going in another direction. So now I'm trying to get to that place of like happiness and like to just hang out with my friends and work out, and to not make something that is light something heavy. So like I'm trying, okay, I'm working on it, and not let the results dictate my feelings. It's still bad. It's still not that good, because, if you see, I did a workout, and then a lot of guys beat me in that workout. I'm like, dang. But it's just a workout. Like, so I'm trying to not let results dictate my feelings and my behaviors and to control my reactions. And doing that, I gotta know that it doesn't matter what is happening. I have something that's bigger, and it doesn't change the way that God sees me. And I'm working on it to put my identity more in God than in the worldly things. So, okay, if I did bad in a workout, okay, it's just a workout. God is still there. He still has a plan. It's still all good. I'm still alive.
My wife and my dog still love me. They
still
don't care.
Love me.
My family's still here.
One thing that stuck with me one day was like, I had a bad day of training. I got home. My dog was just like making a party when I came back home. I was like, see, like, he doesn't care.
Doesn't even know.
You know, like, he doesn't even know that I had a bad day. He was just like happy to see me. I was like, this is all about, like, this is life. And yeah, I'm trying to get the pressure off, to take the pressure off of my shoulders, of like going to a competition or into a workout or into some stage of something, and to realize, okay, this is my job that I don't want to relate to CrossFit as my job anymore. I just have fun.
Yeah.
I don't work. When you work in what you like, you don't work in it, right? So I'm like, I'm just having fun. So what I'm doing every day is like to live one day by day. I'm working on it.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's really
hard. Yeah, it's hard.
I love what I love is even when, gosh, it was probably last November was the first time that you and I talked about this, and you shared it. On the camera.
First time.
And I'm sure that you got feedback from that, but it's more common. People don't walk around with this iron vest on, right? Like everyone's got these emotions and feelings. So I think it's really tremendous to have an athlete of your stature and someone that people look up to spill those beans.
Yeah.
And be like,
because no one knows what everyone is passing through, and everyone is going through some way of problem, like some kind of problem. And some people know that athletes, they're just athletes. They're not humans.
Yep.
Like they just lift weights and run and do everything, but they don't have feelings. They don't have anything. So this is why people talk a lot. So what I'm like, I don't know. When I was passing through it, I knew two things. That one, that would pass. That would be a pass someday. And the second time was that I'll be able to help other people that are struggling with the same thing. So what I'm doing now, and sometimes I catch myself like, dang, like, how do I know this? I'm like, oh, because I passed through it. And then now I'm able to help people to go through it because I know how it is, and I know what the way to not get into it and the way of get out of it. So then I can like speak life to other people, and that's very special. And I think that's the mental stuff is very important to speak about nowadays, because I think that we have the most sick generation that ever lived because of like social media and like comparison and, oh, I don't have that, I want that, and people start like feeling not good enough. But that's the thing. Everyone just looks so happy on the social media. Oh, I don't have any problems. My house is beautiful. I have the best family. I have the best job, whatever. But like when you don't know the reality of things, you think that that's the reality. So like on social media, we have nowadays, unfortunately, we have a lot of like people that has a lot of followers, and they're just like picturing that perfect life. And people that are normal people, we are all normal people. They think, oh, this is the perfect life, and people are starting like looking up to something that probably they will never have it, because that's not true. And people start thinking less of themselves about it, and we start getting sick about it and starting getting mental problems and mental illness. And so, yeah, it's very important to talk about it.
Is it something you are sharing more, like on your social media, for example? Like
yeah, sometimes when I have the opportunity to do it, I do it.
I think that's priceless.
Yeah, and I do some videos about it, and when I have some conversations with some people or someone that sends me a message, oh, I'm going through this, and oh, that gets my attention, I go and like write something, say something. Or if someone approaches me, oh, I'm feeling this, feeling that, and I'm just talk about some stuff that I did, like some example or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah,
good for you.
I like to talk about it.
I mean, of course, it's nice to post your heavy lifts and let people like aspire to you as an athlete. But I think that what you're saying about making an impact on the world in the future, especially like such a young age, to have these lessons, what a blessing.
Oh yeah.
This time of life. And then to be able to, like you got a platform where you can help.
And that's people. The thing, like when I was praying about it in basketball and CrossFit, I was like, okay, like what do you want me to do? So I got all of this, and this is for sure not for me. This is for other people. So I had a pastor one day that he said, hey, our gifts are for the other people, like for the other people, for the others. Like we gotta use the gifts that we had or the platform that we had to others. So I have all this platform. I have a lot of followers. I have a lot of people that look up to me. It's not for me like to get to get the glory for myself. It's like, okay, I have all of this, but all of this was given by him. So like, I gotta get back to him. Like, hey, just use this like for you. Like, I don't get it for like, take it for granted?
Amen. You don't want to take it for granted. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's for him. And like, it's not for me or to glorify myself. And I don't want to do it. Like every day I pray, like, keep me humble. Don't let me these things like get to my head, and just use me as you want. Like, use my mouth, put words in my mouth. And like, I just want to be yours,
Yep.
you know, like just do what you got to do through me. And yeah, that's it.
It's amazing. And so, I mean, again, sounds like you've gained a lot of great clarity, even though it took some very hard lessons, right? So I love that. I guess it would be silly though we're in the second week of the Open, so I guess it'd be silly not to end by at least talking about, with all this in mind, what are the goals, what should people expect, either, you know, both in life and from you, and also in competition?
What I expect of myself?
Yes.
Okay. So this season, I gotta make it like a great season for me, and to do everything right in my part. So gotta do all I gotta do. So like that means training, food, rest, sleep, living life, having fun. And make my career lighter again. Like just having fun and be light again, and be a light that people can see and get inspired by, and, you know, be the person that I wanted to be, or the person that I like to have with me. And training wise, yeah, to qualify to the games, of course, and whatever God wants me, I will do it. Of course, I want to win the games, but I'm not in a rush anymore. So like, if he wants me to win, good. It will be a bigger platform. If doesn't, I'm still doing my job. He's still on the throne. He's still using me. So like, no pressure at all, because every time that I put pressure on myself, it didn't work out. Yeah. So now I work better when I'm happy, when I'm having fun, and when I'm like, no expectations.
You got that lightness you talked about.
Yeah, I have a friend, he goes, don't create expectations. If all goes wrong, everything went well.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Let's maybe finish on this, because I've kept you long enough, and thank you, by the way, for joining us for this in the Open. What do you think that, because again, when you started CrossFit, Brazil was just starting to catch fire. It caught fire. It's a big deal. Mm-hmm. What do you think that you mean for Brazilian CrossFit, for the South American community, et cetera?
I think that in the normal, how can I say that? Like normal students? I don't know.
Like regular CrossFitters.
CrossFitters. I maybe mean someone that they look up to, and like he does that, like I want to do that too. Or they get inspired by training, and maybe they're like on the couch and they see a video of mine. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work out. And I think that for them, I mean like some inspiration and because in Brazil we lack idols today. Like we had Ayrton Senna, that was the Formula 1 driver. Yeah. We have great football players, some athletes, but nowadays how can I say that? But like nowadays people are like idolizing other persons that they don't bring any life to them or any inspiration about it. I don't want to talk more into it, but like,
well, it's like negativity sells it's like something that just like gives them a quick thing to think about or even complain about.
Yeah, or they don't have something like that's nice. Oh, I like that. Yeah, like that inspired me. It's just like fertility. So I think that they have someone that they can relate and like, dang, Brazil is there. Like I like it. It's awesome. Like to see the Brazil flag in the middle of like all the leaderboard of all the road, and to have someone to represent them as a representative. representative.
Yeah, representative.
Of them in a competition sport, in a competitive sport, in a competitive space. And for the athletes, I think that I was part of the growing of the sport, and that them to get to know that they can do the same thing. Like they can reach whatever they want to reach if they work hard, and if they if they create their opportunities.
Yeah.
And that they are able to do it. And people, all the athletes, the best athletes on the world, in the world, they're human like everyone. So like if they work hard, if they wanted to get it, they can do it. And I think that I am kind of like inspiration for athletes too, like for teenagers actually more than adults, because I came from the teenager division. So like teenagers, they look up to me like, oh, I can do that too. I can get there too. But I didn't get to where I want to be
Not yet.
But yeah, I'm in the process of going to where I am. But I think that I'm an inspiration for everyone.
100%.
I think.
I think so too. You certainly are for me. I don't get to see you as much anymore, but I love it when I get to. I feel lucky. And we're lucky to have you here, brother.
Me too.
Is it time for me to say obrigado?
Yes.
Obrigado.
For coming.
Is that how you say it?
No. Obrigado.
What's the response? Por
ter vindo.
Vindo. I'll never get that one.
Yes. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, brother. It was great.